Alright, hey guys, I just wanted to briefly go over version 0.8.1 updates here. So very minimal things got changed. One is the way 3-digit input is handled. So let's say I had 12.3, for instance. What used to happen when I started to copy over is it would kind of do something a little awkward. You might not have even realized it. But what we want it to do is if I type in a 5, make it essentially take that last number and restore that last number so you can write over more easily, as opposed to just because what will happen is if I hit 5 and then 6, I can easily hit 5.6 now, as opposed to what it was doing before, which it would never do that. So additionally to that, what you're going to see in the update is when I go to my bag setup here, you're going to see a sort feature. So in the sort feature, if I was to click on it, I can basically long press on something and move it up or down as necessary, and then just hit the reorder button once I'm finished. So just something to make it just a little bit more user friendly. Just in case you do want to reorder those bags. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that out, but that's how you do it. You just long press and drag bags where you want them. So aside from that, that's pretty much going to cover it. There was some small bug enhancements. If you weren't seeing the videos, hopefully that is being restored, but also keep in mind, make sure that you have memory. If I go into the tournament and click on a hole and go to the YouTube links, I should be able to retrieve them. If you start to get a little bit tight and open too many things, Google Messenger, Facebook, these are all memory hogs. You want to make sure that you're force closing these out in the event that you have them open if you're on a limited memory device. 2-3 gigabytes of RAM. RAM memory is different than storage. So we're not talking about storage here. We're talking about RAM. So look up your phone. It has a set number of RAM. What you'll see is some phones have different storage amounts. Maybe they have a 16 gigabyte option, 32 gigabyte. But the one thing that's pretty much universal is they have the same amount of RAM. So if you're using 2-3 gigabytes, one of the things that could happen is if you have Facebook open, if you have Messenger or whatever, and then try to go to videos, you might just be bogging down the capabilities on your phone to have free RAM. So do pay attention to your RAM management. If you can go into the settings here, and if you have this device maintenance memory screen, which you may or may not have, another thing you can do is you can download a third-party app and you can have it tell you, all the things that are running. But if you have this, you won't need it. And when I click on it, you can see, this is my memory that I have for the phone. Again, this is not storage. So, you might see something that says storage, but not RAM. So here you can see actually a storage button. And when I click on storage, you can see I have much different storage capabilities than I have RAM. So what a lot of guys are saying is, oh, I have 16 gigabytes here. Why? And 9 of them are free. Why isn't my phone working properly? It's because it's not related. Okay. Memory is short-term, storage is long-term. So everything that you have active at this time is not influenced by storage at all. So when I go into memory here, this is the key component. These are the things that you see running. See, I have Messenger running. I have YouTube running. I have Chrome running. All these things add up. You can see YouTube alone there taking 300 megabytes. So if you aren't operating with at least 300 megabytes free and you go to try to launch it, it might not launch. So that's why you're running into problems here. So you can see all these things that I have open, which is totaling over 4 gigs on my phone, which is more than enough for the phone that I have. So it's okay. But look at these memory hogs. Chrome, Messenger, Facebook, all of them totaling a gig. Okay. So What I do is I'll load Facebook, for instance, and then I might, I can basically, you can see this clean now feature, so I can basically have it just basically shut these things down, all of them, if I want. And what that's going to do is it's going to free up all the RAM. Another thing that I can do from the back end is I can go to settings and I can do it manually. So if I go to apps, you might not have that memory option, and that's why I'm showing you this. So if I go to Facebook or Golf Clash or whatever and click on it and then go to storage, I can clear the cache, which will help, and then force stop as well. So what this does is it's going to take it out of that memory queue. So now instead of that 4.1 gigs that you see that's on my active memory, it's going to take away that memory. So Facebook's no longer open, and you see that I'm running just a little bit less on my device now. But the way that my operating system is, it's a little bit more sophisticated than those other older devices. So even if I remove everything out, I might still be running at 3 gigs or 2, at least like 2.8 or so. Whereas, you guys will probably be able to maybe load your operating system on 1 gig. But keep in mind, if you're on a 2 gig device and your operating system is using 1, you only have 1 gig to play around with. So if all these things are open, which you can see, they're not even in the foreground. I'm not looking at any of these things right now, but they're all running. Okay, so just be a little bit mindful of that with your memory management, and you should have, a little bit more success with your device. Hopefully you guys like Notebook Update 0.8.1, and hopefully these tips for clearing up your RAM also help. So good luck out there, guys. Catch you guys on the next one.